Hi, everybody. So I'm Karel. I'm the founder of Voxist, and Alan asked me to talk about the first 6 months of setting up Voxist. So I tried to do that, but first I will get back a little in time and discuss, what is Voxist and how did that come up to be a startup at launch. So some of you know me by the work I've done with Libon at Orange. And that's how the idea of Voxist came in. We started Libon by building something called OnVoiceFeed. It was a voicemail system over the top, quite innovative and with a lot of cool ideas. Then it merged into something called Libon, and Libon was a full communication app. You could do chat, you could do, still voicemail. You could make calls over app-to-app calls or calling out. And Libon lately transformed into something called Libon Call. And Libon Call is an Orange branded app dedicated just to do a VoIP out call. And by then, I was like getting a little frustrated because there were so many ideas I had and I couldn't work on. And that's when, around February, I got the idea of maybe I should go back to the original idea of OnVoiceFeed, the voicemail part. So I started with an idea. I found a name for the company called Voxist. I bought all the digital assets needed, Voxist.com, Voxist.fr, Voxist. Whatever I found. Set up a Twitter name. At that point, it was Voxist_TW. By now, I finally managed to get Twitter to give me the Voxist name, so it's much better. Set up a Facebook page, and I talked with Alan about my ideas, and it's like, well, come and join the TAD Mentor program. And so you have some people that you can bounce your idea with. So in March, I was like working on the business plan, trying to figure out, can I actually make business out of that? Voicemail, really? Well, I found a way. I think I could make some money. I had the first logo. I was so happy. It looked great. I'm really happy about the logo. As you can see on the bottom part, it's no longer the logo. So by April, I joined an incubator in Paris called Dojo. I joined the Founder Institute program, which is a program run by Adeo Rossi in California to help people who want to found a new company, providing us some support in terms of what are the steps, what are the tricks that you run into when you are founding a company. Then I took 2 interns to start building a MVP, a minimal viable product, what's the core idea I had. And I was lucky enough that Happy Days, which is among us today, give me some place in the office so I can set up shop somewhere. But at that point, I was still working at Orange. By May, we had our first version of something we could put in the hand of testers. It was an alpha version, so there was no voicemail backend properly. We were still using the operator voicemail, and there was no app, so you get things by email. And the single feature was we'll transcribe voicemail into text, and you get an email with the voicemail plus the transcription of the voicemail. And we got good feedbacks of people saying, really like to use that. By June, I already worked on a new logo. Yeah, it's amazing. A couple of months and already changed my logo. Something more modern and using the feedback from the Founder Institute, from our tester. And it seems kind of like weird to change already a logo with such a short amount of time. But it's really, branding is important even as a startup. People need to picture what the Voxist is about. In July, I had the chance to be part of the Viva Tech Expo in Paris, a huge tech expo with thousands of startups and tech company. And then I set up a landing page where I could register people who would like to test the product when it will be ready. And by the end of July, we had 2,000 people who would subscribe to be testers for Voxist. So we're really happy. So then August arrived, and at that point I really wanted to just commit myself. So I left Orange and started working full-time on Voxist, and we launched the first beta. So we had an Android and iOS application, and we started putting a couple of dozen testers from the long list of people who would subscribe to get feedbacks and to iterate. In September, I had the chance to be a speaker at the Innovation Summit, which was organized by Informa. Well, now it's called CNET 365, I think. And my first interview in the press, well, it's called the Technique de l'ingénieur. It's not maybe the mainstream press, but yeah, it's good. People are starting to hear about Voxys and wondering, what are you trying to do there? And so in October last month, we now had 150 testers onboarded, and we are every month putting a couple more hundreds of testers on board. And the feedbacks from our first user is quite good. So we asked them a little survey. And that's where we kind of stand today. So what's next? Well, we are using Telestax for our backend, and so we are talking about moving our backend in their production environment around December. That will allow me to onboard maybe all of the 1,000 testers that are subscribed. And we are starting to look for some funding because we need to move towards something more production ready. But the idea is that, we went from an idea, and in a couple of months, well, a little more than 6 months actually, so even if that was the title of the presentation. Thanks, Alan. From just a concept to actually something that's almost production ready, but that is actually being usable, and we get great feedbacks for our first user base. And hopefully, if you want to learn more about what actually Voxys is and the roadmap, well, this afternoon we will talk a little more in detail of the current roadmap, the idea and the vision of Voxys, and I hope to have you all part of the Workstream 1 at 4 p.m. Thank you very much.
Excellent, thank you, Karel. Any questions for Karel? Oh, if you could, sit down over there, Karel. There's a mic over there, and I'll get Olivier set up. So any questions for Karel? Maybe I'll start off. I'll get you set up in a sec. I just want to... Okay. Yeah.
1, 2. Yeah.
So, voicemail. One of the most unsexy things on the planet. Maybe you could give us a pitch for how you've been trying to raise funding for such an unsexy topic.
So, what I will present later today is my vision of voicemail is actually, we talk a lot about digital assistant or artificial intelligence, and I think the voicemail is the best place you can start creating a vocal assistant and an actual assistant, because a lot of the assistant we see today are things that it's actually not an assistant, it's more like a user interface. It's like, I have my phone and I can talk to my phone through Siri, but it's still me talking to my phone and getting my phone to do something, so it's more like a UI, and I have to be there. But the real assistant is when I'm not there, and the voicemail is what? It's something that's taking care of your calls when you're not there. That's where an actual assistant is interesting. So imagine that your voicemail, instead of being more like a bottle in the sea, that people will go and leave a message hoping that something is going to happen, people can start interacting with your voicemail. You call and you want to change a meeting. By the time you hang up, the meeting is set up. You call because you want to know the status of your order. Well, by the time you hang up, you know what your order is going on. So that's what my vision is, transforming the old-fashioned voicemail into an assistant and using AI and interconnecting that with CRMs and all other systems that can bring value to the voicemail.
I think we're going to see through today, tomorrow, we're going to be seeing from the live person team the fact that bots are production ready, and there's some really interesting mashups that you can do that are pretty, look futuristic, but actually are sort of pretty implementable today. And again, for the Dangerous demo, I'll just give another plug to the live person guys. They're going to be showing how you can create new features within a bot live. So I think that's a very good point that you have there, Karel. Now, is there any other questions before we move on? Again, Karel will be here when we do the speaker's corner, so you'll have a chance to speak one-on-one with Karel to ask him any questions. So again, thank you so much, Karel.
Thank you, Alan.